right, so students that are working from home, the first thing that we're going to be doing during class periods today, the students are going to play a couple rounds of Chapter 2, Lesson 1 Quizlet to review the terms from Lesson 1. They will have a couple minutes to look over yesterday's practice quiz and their notes from Chapter 2, Lesson 1. And then we are taking a quiz, 10 questions. You have 10 minutes. Once you go in, it's on a timer. You only have 10 minutes to finish 10 questions. If you know the material, you'll only need maybe 3 minutes. So anyway, review Chapter 2, Lesson 1 at the beginning, and then go in and take that quiz. Once I have everybody done with their quiz in class, I'm going to introduce Chapter 2, Lesson 2 vocabulary. Just a pretty brief introduction of the vocabulary, and then they're going to start their reading and taking notes for Chapter 2, Lesson 2. The lesson actually starts on page 63, which is the vocab page, but the reading and taking notes will start on page 64, okay? So after you take your quiz, then you need to come back to this and learn the vocab. So you should probably be writing these vocab down. If you don't want to write them down while I'm doing it, then you should do a vocab practice, or a vocab, either foldable or just vocab notes, all right? So the first thing that you need to know is atomic number. The atomic number identifies the number of protons in the nucleus, and we learned about protons being located in the nucleus in the last lesson. And that identifies the element, because hydrogen is the only element on the periodic table with an atomic number of 1, because it's the only element that has 1 proton in the nucleus. Helium, atomic number 2, is the only element on the periodic table that only has 2 protons. See how that's working? So the atomic number identifies the element and the number of protons in its nucleus. Average atomic mass. The mass of an atom is its nucleus. And remember that the nucleus is protons plus neutrons. So the mass is going to be the protons and neutrons for that atom. So the average atomic mass on the periodic table is the number that is underneath the element symbol. And what it does is it averages the protons plus neutrons. They don't always have the same number of neutrons. They have to have the same number of protons because that identifies the element. But some of them have different numbers of neutrons. Those are called isotopes. So make sure you understand what an isotope is. It's an element that has either more or less mass because of the different number of neutrons. Protons plus neutrons equal mass. Okay, you can't change the protons, but you could change the neutrons because they have no charge. They just add mass. So that'd be like I'm getting a larger order of fries. They're still fries. I'm just getting more. I don't know. Is that helpful? I don't know. All right. An ion is a charged particle. So what we normally work with is equal numbers of protons and electrons. So if I have 1 positive charge and 1 negative charge, you add those 2 numbers together and you get 0, correct? Correct? So that's neutral. That's a neutral atom. So that's typically what we work with. But sometimes atoms give away electrons, or they take in electrons, which we're going to hit that a little harder. But I'm trying to get you to get the vocab down. When that happens, you have a charged atom because the positives, if the positives outnumber the negatives, you have a positive charged particle. If the electrons outnumber the protons, you have a negatively charged particle because electrons have a negative charge. I know it's so much to put together. The vocab has also been pushed out to you in Quizlet. So Chapter 2, Lesson 2 vocab, you'll want to do that after you've started looking at these terms, or even use it as a study tool for the terms, because they're in there, okay? Nuclear decay, you're going to be looking at those, and you're going to be doing, tomorrow you're going to be doing a content practice, the alpha, beta, and gamma decay, and you'll need to know those. So we're going to work with those. It just is saying that the nucleus goes through a decay. It falls apart. And when it falls apart, it gives off energy. Well, the amount of energy is based on how many particles are given off. So alpha, beta, and gamma are the 3 types of nuclear decay. And we'll hit that a little harder tomorrow. And radioactivity, elements spontaneously emit radiation. And then spontaneous, oh my goodness, spontaneous is occurring without external forces or cause. It just happens spontaneously. Okay, it just happens, all right? So review, take your quiz, and then make sure you practice with the vocab, whether you make a vocab foldable. I'm not requiring it to be turned in or anything. I just know that you will benefit from doing those vocab terms that were on page 63. And then when you have those done, go ahead and do the guided reading or your own notes. Okay, so the guided reading will also be attached. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you back here whenever you get back here.